we arrive to the final call, whosoever will let him come and take the water of life freely. How does the world economy today fit into biblical prophecy? How do we understand the mysteries of the kingdom of God? What is happening in the world today in the news to tell us where we are in prophecy and what we should be preparing for? The Lamb has prevailed to open the book and to loose the seals.
What will set you apart among the blessed? Is it who you are or what you do? Welcome to Wilderness Mountain Ministry with Brother Jackie Grissom, along with Brother Steve Zarling. Israel is facing a 3.5-year famine and drought. In the U.S. and around the world, we can help by placing distribution centers to help the homeless and hungry in Israel. Now, here is Brother Grissom and Brother Zarling.
Someday you would possess this land, and there would be a city called Jerusalem, where my peace would compass over all your sin. Children of Abraham, come to Jerusalem. To a mountain in a wilderness he brought a son, the promised child to offer to the Holy One. Through his tears he trembled as he raised the knife. A voice said, wait, I have a better sacrifice. I'll trade my life for you, to prove my love is true. Children of Abraham, come to Jerusalem. Come to Jerusalem. Come to the Prince of Peace. Come to the great I am, and let your searching cease. And when your heart has made room for my throne within, then everywhere you go, you bring Jerusalem. On a mountain in a wilderness I made my home, a temple on the earth where I placed heaven's throne. And every year you brought a lamb to sacrifice, the Passover that covered your sin from my eyes. Children of Abraham, come to Jerusalem. To a mountain in a wilderness the prophet came, the mighty God, the Prince of Peace, they called his name. On a mountain in a wilderness he died alone, and soon it was destroyed, that temple made of stone. The final sacrifice, Messiah gave his life. Children of Abraham, come to Jerusalem. Come to Jerusalem. Come to the Prince of Peace. Come to the great I I am, and let your searching cease. And when your heart has made room for my throne within, then everywhere you go, you bring Jerusalem. Come to Jerusalem, come to the Prince of Peace, come to the great I am, and let your searching cease. And when your heart has made room for my throne within, then everywhere you go, you bring Jerusalem. Come to the bread of life, the wine of sacrifice, children of Abraham. Come to Jerusalem.
All right, this is Brother Jackie, WildernessMountainMinistry.org, Brother Steve. That was a precious brother, Jewish brother, B.J. Harris. He's one of our co-laborers, and he'll be joining us in some of our following programs weekly. So this is Wilderness Mountain Ministry with Brother Jackie, Brother Steve, and you can go to our website homepage to see our work and view our reports at wildernessmountainministry.org. We are a recognized 501(c) tax deductible non-profit organization. Your gifts are wisely, prayerfully used to get this end-time gospel of the kingdom message out. We urge you to prepare to make provisions now while you can, and advise you to read the More Sure Word of Prophecy on our blog page. You can get involved learning how to prepare for you and your loved ones by blessing Israel. See our wheat project, 150 tons of wheat this ministry has raised since 2008 for Jacob, who has spent over 10 years setting up emergency centers in the U.S. for Jacob's Trouble. Here, you can donate and help for charity cause, feed the poor, help us shelter the homeless who will need our help during Jacob's troubles. Okay? All right. Brother Steve.
Well, Brother Jackie, our topic for today is when and what is Jacob's troubles. Brother Jackie, what is the meaning of the shofar?
All right, brother. It's a day of the trumpets, as the watchmen on the walls sound the alarm for the people to turn back to God. You can look at Malachi chapter 4:5, where God said, I will restore. In Malachi chapter 3. If the trumpets give an uncertain sound, how would we know what to prepare for? By the blowing of the shofar, we recognize the purpose of creation. It is blown in the beginning of the new year and the beginning of a new month. And that's under the Hebrew calendar of the month of Aviv, Passover. God has proclaimed His word that He hath set watchmen upon His walls over the nations to reveal His plan for what is to happen on these holy feast days, laid down as a sign in the Old Testament and New Testament to all the children of Israel, under Moses the law, and under Yeshua under grace. Now God's trumpets was made known to all Israel as it was blown on Passover as a new year on the month of Aviv, called the first month. A new year on the Hebrew calendar, folks. The blood moons There's no coincidence, and are for a sign like Moses, who told us for these seasons as God's creation in Leviticus. And I don't mean to scare you, but these mysteries revealed by the trumpets, the watchmen that are blown, happen exactly on the years the blood moons are to occur, beginning on Passover 2014. They reveal when the former rain and the latter rain began 2,000 years ago, and will reveal when the former and latter rain will begin to be poured out in the first month of Aviv for Jacob one last time. As all Israel is to get ready for the Lord's coming, Brother Steve, as we read the scriptures to confirm this in God's Word for Jacob in Joel chapter 2 of what we can expect to happen. Okay, God is referring to revealing his mysteries and his secrets to his servants, the prophets. You can go to Amos 3:7. The Lord God will do nothing first. Brother Steve, it appears by God's feast days and the blood moon 2015 that we are about to witness the end of the 7 church ages, closing the Laodicean church age of God's wild olive trees. The Gentile close, switching to Jacob's troubles in 2015. You'll find that in Romans chapter 11, 25-26. That God's going to have mercy upon Jacob. One more time. The blood moons mean that we are coming to the end of 7 church ages in the book of Revelations, as God shuts the door on the Gentiles, turns back to the natural branches, and we know he promised in Romans, one more time, 11:25-26, that he would turn back to the natural Jew to save them from their enemies that was dispersed into all nations, to be rounded up in this final prophecy in Isaiah 11:12, called the final Exodus.
Brother Jackie, what is Jacob's trouble?
All right. It's a time of an economic collapse of all Jacob's troubles to begin. So I would urge you to give now while you can to support this work to help us feed and shelter them before the money's gone, your gold and silver is worthless without a mark. It is a time to blow the trumpet in Zion to let Israel know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and that salvation has come unto them, and a great time of persecution and betrayal called the 42 months of tribulations, where the woman is to flee to the wilderness for 1,260 days to be fed and sheltered of God until he has sealed them by his spirits, by his word, in their foreheads. Look at this trumpet that gives us, that's going to sound to begin Jacob's troubles. Brother Steve, let's read the scriptures for Jacob.
All right. In Joel 2:1, 15 and 32, 2:1 says, "Blow ye a trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, and let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand." Let us read in Acts also, Acts 2:23. "Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God. For he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month." Folks, when you see the Gentiles' time of the grace is over, and the door shuts to begin the tribulation. So let's read on. In Revelation 7:4, "And I heard the number of them which were sealed. There were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel." Brother Jackie, what is the significance of this?
All right, Brother Steve. Remember, God said to the Jew first, then to the Gentile, and back to the Jew. The final 42 months of God's outpouring of His Spirit upon Jacob's, then it's over. Folks, I'm going to tell you that this video that I'm about to speak of the coming 25-year Great Depression, matches my timeline with the blood moons and the economics collapse within 3 to 6 months. And I think his name is it Rickard? Steve?
Yeah, it's Jim Rickards.
Jim Rickards. You could go on and type that in. It's called Jim Rickards, The Coming 25-Year Great Depression. And some of you have heard of Jonathan Cahn, the harbinger and prophecy of September economics collapse around the feast days. But after the revelation given me of when Jacob's troubles began, you're going to find it shocking to learn in the message called Jacob's Troubles that under the Hebrew calendar of God's feast days, these blood moons under grace in the 5 books of Moses, law and grace, that the first month of Aviv was the day that God poured out His Spirit upon Jacob as the former and the latter rain, declaring the end from the beginning. And you will find that it's recorded that Apostle James chapter 5 tells us when Jacob's troubles is for Jacob, as he left off greeting the 12 tribes of Israel 2,000 years ago, before the 7 church ages dispensations began. Written in the New Testament, God's holy feast days, as God's clock for a sign forever, laid down as a map for all the children of Israel. And the 12 tribes, as there is neither Jew or Greek. And that is about to become evident under the law and grace, to be sealed in the number of the small remnant of the 144,000 redeemed out of the earth. And the shocking thing about it is a small remnant of both Jew and Gentile grafted in again in Romans 11 with Revelations, with John the Revelator records that Revelation chapter 7 is when Jacob's troubles began. The last 42 months, as John said, the angel from the east arises and he closes the door of grace. In 2015, switching back to the natural branches for the Jew for 42 months of Jacob's troubles. So this is what we are about to see, folks, under God's feast days and the blood moons 2015 for Jacob's troubles. Brother Steve, let's read some more of the scriptures in James and Joel about Jacob's outpouring when it will occur.
All right. In James 5, 7, and 11, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and the latter rain.
All right, Brother Steve, can you read on in Joel?
Yes. In Joel 2:15, blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. In 2:16, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breasts, and let the bridegroom go forth from his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. And in 2:17, let the priests and the ministers of the Lord weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God? In 2:18, then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people.
Now, Brother Steve, sounds like a marriage to be.
Yeah.
The marriage supper of the Lamb. Will you help us with Jacob prepare for the final exodus, friends, out of the major cities? And we need support to go on all these radio stations. where doors are opening for you to help me financially go on and stay on until we have reached the Jews in the metropolitan areas, as I have signed 5 contracts, beginning with WWCR Nashville shortwave 12160, Atlanta, Georgia 970 AM, KXEN St. Louis 1010 AM, KKMC Salinas, California. I think I pronounced that right, didn't I, Brother Steve?
Yes.
AM, and KKVV Las Vegas. And folks, we need to go on many and many more of these radio stations that's offering us a real good deal right now as God opens those doors. And you can help and support us for a worthy cause to save Jewish and Christian lives who are at stake as we plan to take on, I know, more than 20 or 30, 40 stations. With your donations who love Jacob, all Israel shall be saved. Please send your offerings to help us get the refuge places prepared, as we need diesel generators. Folks, we need solar panels in Wisconsin and South Carolina, and we're willing hands, as the Wilderness Mountain Ministry has given our whole lives for over 10 years in preparing emergency centers in the U.S. and raising the weak like Joseph did to sustain Jacob. As I believe God has granted this man of God out of Jacob, wrapped it in the revelations for now, and how short of time we have to accomplish this preparation. I have been faithful to tell you what God's feast days are for 2015 for you, your loved ones. So please consider supporting Wilderness Mountain Ministry, and let's not stay drunk and perish like they did in the first Holocaust, when the economic collapse took place. In Jacob's troubles, as we now are about to witness the time of Jacob's troubles, by the law of Moses and by grace, Yahshua, friends, I believe April 2015 is right in the ballpark, and it's not far off for the first month of Aviv, for the outpouring of God's Spirit to Jacob, in the Hebrew calendar feast days of Passover, right on the 2015 blood moons, Brother Steve, for what we believe is to take place called Jacob's troubles. Friends, here is our info to help us. You can donate on our website homepage at the PayPal button for Jacob, or the address below. You can send those donations to Wilderness Mountain Ministry. Make your checks out to Wilderness Mountain Ministry, P.O. Box 527, Walterboro, Walterboro, South Carolina 29488. Again, Wilderness Mountain Ministry, P.O. Box 527, Walterboro, Walterboro, South Carolina 29488. You can contact us at me at Brother Jackie at wildernessmountainministry.org. That's Brother Jackie at wildernessmountainministry.org. You can write me or call us. Brother Jackie, my phone, 843-599-9881. Again, 843-599-9881. Or Brother Steve, 715-567-0808. Brother Steve, 715-567-0808. And we thank you. Brother Steve, this man, Richard,
Jim Rickards.
Can you speak on that, how you come up with that?
Well, Jim Rickards was a member on Wall Street for over 35 years. He was a specialist attorney who was the advisor to government agencies and to countries and to companies regarding the financial goings-on Wall Street and across the world. And he has information regarding our economy, how it's going to implode he said within 6 months. And the man wrote a book. He said it's called The Death of Money. And the man is right on the money. He knows what he's talking about. And I urge you to go and look at his video. You can pick it up online. Jim Richards, the 25-year Great Depression. And it's a very ominous piece to view for those of you who think you have time to hold back your money and hold back the things that God has allowed you to store up. Because very, very shortly, they're going to implement this mark of the beast, because there will be no other way for them to bail themselves out of the snare that they got themselves into with debt. So I would urge you to go and take a look at it.
All right, thank you, Brother Steve. Again, this is Brother Jackie, Brother Steve at wildernessmountainministry.org. You can go to our website, wildernessmountainministry.org, to our blog page, and you can read our weekly reports, and you can get the more sure word for now. I am a coordinator over safe houses in America, who have prepared places with my brother Steve, and one of our co-laborers, which you heard, Come to Jerusalem, who wrote, made a CD, who is helping us, our co-laborer, a precious Jewish brother, that's working with us to make a difference for Jacob's Troubles. We hope that you like his song, and we hope that you like this program as we're first getting started. I have been on several radio stations, a big Mega Man Radio. I have been on Voice America Radio. We've been on Atlanta Live TV. We've been on Greenville, Nightline. I've been on Dorothy. That's in South Carolina. Watchman TV broadcast, and hopefully we'll be invited on even more as we reach out for the help for Jacob. We need your help, folks. We have a 300-acre refuge in Wisconsin. We need the physical labor now. We need your help, your support, your finances. We don't have this place ready, and we have a short time to get it ready. We need your help now, your support, your finances, to make it possible to sustain them for at least 3.5 years. That is coming, called Jacob's Troubles, under the economics collapse. And I believe 2015, somewhere around Passover, in the last 42 months, I believe is going to begin under the blood marriage. So I'm going to close. Again, this is Brother Jackie, Brother Steve at wildernessmountainministry.org. And thanks for listening to the program, wildernessmountainministry.org. And join us next week to discuss Jacob's Troubles and how we can help each other prepare for this timely event. Shalom, Brother Jackie, Brother Steve.